Okay, so it's Nioh 3 time. I avoided Nioh 1 and 2 for like 8 years and finally tackled them a year ago. And this was just in time because a few months after I finished Nioh 1 and a few months before started Nioh 2, Nioh 3 got announced. It's like right when I was starting, like right when I was about to start Nioh 2, that's when Nioh 3 got announced. And I was like, huh. So perfect timing. And I put so many hours into this one. So let's go ahead and do a breakdown on what it's about. Okay, so the obvious difference between Nioh 3 and the previous two games are that Nioh 1 and 2 were mission-based. They had a start and finish, and they're all in self-contained areas, while 3 is a bit more open world. It's it's not 100%. Oh, actually, no, yeah, it's just that there are regions, and there's like a bunch of those, like a handful of those regions, but all of them are fully fleshed out worlds. Well, not all of them. There were like one or two that was just like straight lines. But for the most part, you could just travel from here to there. There are so many regions, so many areas of each region. It was a lot. It was a big difference. Like if you want the Nioh 1 and 2 experience, the closest thing to that is Kazan. But if you just want Nioh and see where it went, this is where it's at. And yeah, so the obvious comparison is Elden Ring. Honestly, because that's really the only fair comparison. And this does kind of change difficulty. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but when you have an open world like a version like this, it kind of skews things because you can run around now and just do whatever you want. So by the time you get to a main quest, you are probably not the same level as everybody else. Maybe above average, you may be average, you may just go get your ass some grinding because you got some bad weapons. Like it lets you tackle things at your own pace, which is just great. Like there's so much in the world, there's so much stuff to go around in, and so I played the demo for like a month before I even got the game. It was mostly because I just realized I first thought the demo was just like a week or two like that, but then I realized, oh, I can still go into it. So I just started doing everything I could in that one little small demo area. So by the time I actually got the game, I was going like 42 or something like that. Not like that was mattering, but it just shows how much I was actually doing in the demo and how much there was to do. And when I first started that demo, of course, I was very overwhelmed because I've actually never played Elden Ring. I couldn't be bothered. I was never really too into it. I would notice I'm more into Soulslikes than Souls games themselves. I noticed that I think it's actually main issue is the setting. I think I just don't care about that setting for Dark Souls and stuff. Anyway, so I've seen enough Elden Ring to see how it can distract you, how you just go here and there, and I remember I just wanted to go from point A to point B to do something. I was like, what's over there? The next thing I'm like, oh, who's that guy? And then what's that? What's that? Oh, there's something to pick up here. There's a chest here. I'm like, oh my god. And we camp here. There was just so much. After the first few hours, first day or so, you start kind of getting used to it, but it never goes away. Every time you go to a new area, there's always just a bunch of new stuff to do. And of course, when you first go to a new spot, you can't see that stuff. You have to actually find stuff on your own first, and then it slowly unlocks the area. Well, not unlocks the map, I guess. You slowly see more and more on the map till everything's revealed and you just do whatever you want. But for a little while, you were just going in blind, which actually is better to me, I believe. You don't have to buy a map, you don't have to find a map, you don't have to slowly go back and forth until you discover everything on the map. It's just once you discover things, you're rewarded by it unlocking by itself. I wouldn't have minded if it kept the mission-based structure. I was fine with that. But when I saw 1 and 2, I was fine with that. And then I heard it was gonna be open world, but I was like, how's that gonna work though? I wasn't even sure myself about that, and so I honestly I could just kept Neo 3 the way it was before, and I would have been fine. But now, as it stands, even though I fully accept a version of this game that's linear and just mission based, now that I've played this version, I don't want the next game to be mission based again. So that's all I can say. Like it'd feel way too restrictive. This isn't even really a new thing to the genre. Like, well, not genre, to the series, because every Neo game has been changing so far. Like Neo 1 and Neo 2 are pretty different, and Neo 3 just even more so. Like for example, one you had a supercharged mode called Living Weapon with magic and ninjutsu. They prep at shrines, and then 2 kept both magic and ninjutsu, but then Living Weapon is gone, and now you have yokai mode, where you have the option like 3 different yokais to choose from, and then like they all have their own like preferences of how they attack and everything like that. And now in Neo 3, they switched out well, I guess you still have living weapon mode, but then now you also have samurai and ninja mode. Some weapons are samurai weapons, some weapons are ninja weapons, and like they're the same like 14 weapons from the last game. Actually, like 14 weapons, I can't remember. The same weapons from the last games, plus like 1 or 2 new ones, I believe. And like this got split in half. Like some things are similar. Like there's dual ninja swords, and then dual blades for samurai. Then there's sword and ninja sword and kind of stuff like that. Then there's other things like samurai have I guess a dachi, that huge ass sword, while the ninja will have talons, or the samurai will have those fist gauntlets instead. And so yeah, there's like they're very different at the end of the day. And of course, ninja have ninjutsu, but that's on a cooldown. Then samurai keep the magic, but magic kind of you don't really learn magic the same way. It's not just you learn this through getting the skills or doing this like tutorial missions or stuff like that with the master. No, this time you pretty much like it's kind of not. I'd say it's still kind of RNG based, where you see you pick stuff up from enemies and loot stuff, and then some of that stuff can turn into a talisman. It can turn into a summon. It can turn like whatever. Sometimes you have to get a certain type of that monster, like a strong version of that monster, in order to unlock it. And this that was kind of randomly based and everything. So you can't. So I mean, you can get everything, but it's like it's hard. It's harder too, because if you don't know where you got something from, or you don't know where to get something from, it's kind of it's kind of shit out of luck, I guess. Or if you have something, but you know it's not as powerful as the other stuff you have, and like I really want this effect, but it's not as powerful as the other stuff. And of course, samurai has ki pulse like normal Neo 1, 2. Ninja like does not have ki pulse. It works like very, very fast. So that's pretty much like stamina risk the entire time you're using ninja. But once again, like you have no cool. You have your unlimited ninjutsu, but they have cooldowns and stuff. Okay. I tended to switch styles quite a bit, and sometimes I would be like, okay, I'm just a samurai now for a while. We're doing normal Neo 1 and 2 stuff. And other times I'm just a ninja, not really doing stuff like the Neo 1 2 way. And I kind of just, I guess sometimes it all depends on what weapon I want to use. Weapons of that, there's also a huge variety on that. Because first of all, you already have two weapons you pretty much using, because using samurai and ninja. Then they have like making it more than one weapons, more than like those weapons too. And then I was getting so many skill points that I was training myself in like a second, third, fourth weapon for some of those guys, and each weapon has about a dozen different combos, so you can really have fun with it. They really just did in a way where replayability is the name of the game. Because honestly, there was so much to use, and I was not using it all. Like I said, I was literally learning new things just so I get rid of my skill points. That's how much I had. I remember there were sometimes in the game, especially at the start, I had like 4 like samurai points, 4 ninja points, then like 11 like ninja points. I used that in like 5 seconds. Then like one time I was like, no, I haven't actually looked at skills in a while, and then I saw, oh, we have 46. And then I used a bunch of them. I still had like 23, 22 left. And I'm like, well, I don't know what else I want to get. So like, it the combat it's whatever you want it to be. I mean, it's always going to be fast paced because that's Nioh, but how you play, there's a lot of options. Okay, so bosses. They're good bosses, they're bad bosses. Just like every Souls-like game, And before I get into any of them, I would bring up the elephant in the room. This game is like a greatest hits of Nioh because it shows bosses from the first 2 games. Some of the most, I guess, I don't know if they're the iconic ones or ones people talk about or not, but like, for me, they're some of the most memorable. Like they're the ones that I thought of most when I thought of Nioh 1, especially. And I think all of them at least are at least I think all of the classic ones like that aren't new to this game are at least connected to one side quest. So if you're doing a side quest, you're gonna find it, and then some of them are also like out in the woods or uh, attached to something else, or like there's like you'll see them more than one way, which kind of brings up the problem. One boss in particular, I fought about 4 to 5 different times. One time in arena, one time in a side quest, one time I just literally walked down into the woods and I saw it, and then it just kept happening. Then there's no like reward for killing it. Like sometimes it was just there, it blocked my path. Other times I killed it and I'm like, I don't get anything special, do I? Nope, no, I don't. And it wasn't just one boss that it happened to. I can think of actually now, I'm thinking about 2 more that had the same problem. So there are probably more that, like just off the bat, I can think of multiple that just kept coming back. They don't even call different names. They're not like, some games do the same thing, but the boss will have a different color or like it's like, oh, now this one has like armor or a wing or something like that, but it operates the exact same way. No, it is the exact same boss with the same name. There's nothing different. It doesn't have more health, as far as I know. It doesn't like attack faster, do anything. It's the same thing you fought before. That is. It probably like I just don't know why do I even do that? Because it's not like it's not like they were all just like giving you something. Like one of the times I said it was literally just right there in front in the middle of the woods. There was no prize for it. When I beat it, I was like, "There's no reward. Why am I fighting this boss?" It just felt kind of stupid. Anyway, as for the other bosses, there were good ones and bad ones, like I said, weak and strong, and there are a ton of story bosses that kicked my ass, but didn't feel daunting. Are you kidding? And I don't know if it could be like I said earlier, how open world doesn't really like it kind of helps you a bit. But at the same time, I said like, I said these bosses kicked my ass, and I didn't feel like I wouldn't feel just like annoyed or frustrated. I didn't feel like this was all pointless. I kept going. I won eventually, but like I wasn't frustrated on the way to there. And so I'm kind of glad. I guess because at the end of the day, Neo 1 and 2, especially 1, had some very bad boss designs, but especially 1. Now that I think about it, there are no giant bosses in Neo 3, and the most annoying boss ever in Neo 2, the one that pissed me off the most, was the giant. Let's not even talk about the final boss of Neo 1. Jesus fuck. Oh no. That's just. And like, I was also getting used to stuff in Neo 1, but even then, if you take that away, that's still nothing. Like, it's. Like, it still doesn't excuse the boss design. They're just kind of bad. But I can just rant about that all day. No, my point was that now it's much better. Like it got slightly better in 2. It's way better in 3. And even though they weren't like overwhelmingly daunting and stuff like that as they have been in the past, if I actually think about it, I'm like, I like this boss, or this one actually was kind of memorable. It's just that like it wasn't, oh my god, I've been dying for 4 hours kind of thing, which is great. Because that you don't need to die 4 hours to feel accomplished when you beat something. In fact, after that, it just kind of feels annoying. Like, oh my god, I finally beat it, kind of thing. So this was good. It was smoother. They felt nicer. They're humanoid ones. They're yokai. They're abominations. But they're Neo 3 bosses, and they're an improvement on before. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say about that. Bosses were nice when they weren't repeating themselves. So I never played co-op on in other games when they're at the peak. Like I said, I started last year. I did some co-op stuff in well actually in Neo 1. 2 of the most annoying bosses for me. I won because I like just summoned somebody and they finally just picked up. They at the worst bosses ever, they just were there for me, which is kind of funny. But I don't know. So I'm saying, because I was never there at the peak, I don't know if it was just lively or more or less. But there really was a lot going on when it came to co-op stuff here, and I really felt there was community aspect, especially with expeditions where you just like 3 people just running around the area just doing stuff. And like, of course, besides expeditions, you have normal summons where you summon people or they summon you. And I something I found weird is that I can summon someone no problem to my game, but I had trouble getting summoned. Same like the same thing with expeditions, but like the weird thing is like for both of those, like if I try to summon, I try to put my summon sign down, they make error saying something like the parameters were too restricted or something like that. And same thing if I try to look for expeditions, that same message. I'm like, there's no restrictions here at all. It's a blank slate. I don't know if that's currently being worked on or if it's just going to stay like that. I can't really say. Uh, but there are also times like when I actually like I said when I created Expedition though, I would just be sitting there or standing around there running around for like 30 minutes before I actually join my game. I don't know what the deal with that is. Who knows? So like, once again, I don't know if they're going to fix that or not. If they do, thank you, because that was getting annoying. If they don't, you guys just aren't trying. I guess I don't know. Maybe they got the money left. Who knows? But either way, whether you are and like in co-op itself, it is fun. just knowing that, just knowing that you could like get stuff that way. Just nothing happened. And like just so many like sometimes it'll take like 4 attempts of me clicking become a summoner, become a visitor, and just still nothing. And I'm like, okay. Okay, so I guess when you're in the game, people, the co-op is great, but the actual matchmaking and stuff, it could use a bit. Come on now. No one plays Nioh for the story. No one. But at least Nioh 1 had a clear story and end goal. And Nioh 2 also followed the tail of someone and he had a straight path itself as well. Nioh 3, however, is laughably bad. Laughably bad. There's time travel, characters come and go, motivations don't make any sense. And there's just a lot of facts that straight up don't sync up together. Even in the game, I was trying to like calculate time and like figure out, okay, how does this make sense? And the answer is honestly, it doesn't. It just doesn't. And what makes matters worse is Neo 1 and 2 were all in Japanese. Neo 3, the default is English. And English is like a 90s anime dub voice. But so on top of that, the lip sync was so terrible that like, honestly you believe someone died. I'm just hearing that. I don't know. But it really sounded like some classic out of sync martial arts stuff. I don't know if someone else did that on I don't know who proved that. It was just so stupid. I just I understand that the gameplay was actually the important thing. You did your best on it and everything, but God, just now I love this game a lot. It was definitely my favorite games this year. First, of course, being RE9 at the moment. I can say this is my favorite game in the series, but honestly, this just shows more that every game gets better than the last. Because Neo 2 was a massive jump from Neo 1, in my opinion, and cleared out like all the complaints I had. And then Neo 3 went ahead and made things even smoother. And it's good that they don't make the same game each time, which just shows that they put in effort. It has challenge, variety, replayability, and options out the ass, which is pretty much what most people need. The story is sadly not even like serviceable. That story is just terrible. That's ass. But the gameplay that goes with it is fine. And I will just never stop shitting on that story. So it's not like it disappointed me because I never actually thought about the story when I was thinking about I want to get Neo and kind of stuff. So that's not a huge big deal, but I was just knowing how stupid it was. Either way, loved the game. I think you can play Neo 2 after Neo 3 and still get a good experience. While if you were to play Neo 1 after 3 and maybe 2, it just wouldn't be the same. Right? And again, I guess just like some of it's just because choices made in the game. Other things just like oh the game's old enough so it's kind of so like kind of controls and like how it feels kind of outdated. That's the main reason why I'm saying that. But the game itself it should be fine. Like should like have no problem with someone just getting used to it. But It's just that Nioh 3 is so much better in every way. But if you want something similar to Nioh 1 and 2, once again, first thing to go to would just be First Berserker Kazan, because that pretty much has style down, and it pretty much felt what I felt. So, yeah, I'd say Nioh 3 is definitely worth a buy if you're a fan of the series, or if you just want a good action Souls-like with a lot of options in it. Like, you don't have to be like, this be your first Nioh game and just be fine. And that's both good action genres and good and bad things. It's just a good thing. Because they just want to have freedom. Well, thanks for watching all that. Yeah, that was how I felt about Nioh 3. And hopefully somebody who tries it out will feel similarly.